going up, prices in Texas and all these other places. And I'm like, I'm sure they are, but I don't see anybody leaving California because these houses go up for sale and they're sold within a week. And
that's the thing. Yeah.
Usually 30 to 60 grand more than what, you know, the real estate agent has put it on the market for.
Exactly.
Damn, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we are live. Miss Mel Dion got a little camera. Maybe she's just shy and didn't want to be seen. I don't know.
No, I love to be seen.
She's too pretty not to be seen, but she's still here with us in audio. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. She's a Cardinal Construction, over 25 years. Just last week we had another female contractor. My daughter is studying to get her contractor's license. She's 20.
I think that's great.
In August. Yeah, so I'm telling you guys, stick around. You don't want to miss. All right, we're back. Hey, Mel, so real quick, next week, I've got a guy, I think it's Minneapolis or Minnesota, I think, but he's Nick Slavic. He does a live show. He's been doing it for years called Ask a Painter Live. He's got a huge following, but we're going to be doing it 7 a.m. He's got me getting up early. He rearranged his schedule. And I'm like, dude, you get up, I'll get up. We'll do it. So looking forward to that. But today, Miss Mel Dion. Hey, Mel, tell us, give us a little bit about your company, Cardinal Construction. How many people? Is it just you and you got subs, or give me a little rundown?
Oh, we got all employees. I mean, the only things I sub out are knob and tube electrical, stuff like that, or some tricky stucco texture. But for the most part, we do it all in-house. We got about 11 of us. Right now we're doing 4 jobs at a time. Tons. It's mostly remodels. I would say 80% remodels and residential. And actually this year it's only probably 10% commercial, but my background's heavy in commercial, but I just got so sick of traveling around. I just wanted to come back to Santa Cruz. My kids were teenagers and, running the streets. So I decided to come back to Santa Cruz. So I came back and just staked my claim. I just want to work in Santa Cruz County. That's it. We go from Boulder Creek in one end down to Watsonville in the other. I mean, if people want to pay me like obscene amounts of money and I can pay the guys drive time and gas, I'll go out of the area. But there's plenty of work in Santa Cruz. I don't have to leave.
And I'm telling you, no matter where you're watching at right now or when you're watching, but if you've never been to Santa Cruz, Google it. It's
gorgeous.
Probably the most beautiful part of the world, not just California, but the world. Yeah. It's I mean, you're blessed to live there and work there.
And you don't live here by accident. You make a choice and then you work your ass off to live here.
Yeah. How far is that from where, what is it like? Is it 2 hours or less from where Clint Eastwood used to be the mayor of?
It's an hour north.
Yeah, hour north. What's that little town? Carmel, right? Was it
in Monterey? Yeah.
Monterey? I thought it was
another beautiful place.
Oh yeah, it's that whole drive, California coast from the redwoods down all the way to Mexico. Really, everybody should do it. But
I agree.
So, and you've been. I don't know. Let's back all the way up. So you didn't grow up in Santa Cruz.
No.
Where you grew up, like Massachusetts or?
Well, I grew up mostly in Ohio. I was going to Kent State for architecture in 79, 80. And my dad worked for the Wall Street Journal. He got transferred out to Palo Alto. And I couldn't pack my little dorm room fast enough and hop in the car. And he had no choice but to take me. That was in 81. So
man, 81. So 81. You come out to California.
Yeah, 20 years old. I'm just I'm decided. My dad said, of course, there's colleges out there too. I know that for a fact. So
81 at Palo Alto. That was like the beginning, right?
It was the start of everything. Yeah. I was actually working because I was only 20 and I was in school. So when I first moved, I just got a job at like McDonald's a block away so I could walk over there. And then someone, at the McDonald's was like, hey, there's this job in electronics. Do you want to go, do quality control on IC chips? Yeah, sure. I'll do that. No problem.
Hey, did you know what an IC chip was?
No. I just knew everybody over here was in electronics. So I went in,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I started doing it. And then, you know, then I was there for maybe 2-3 years, got married, moved to Santa Cruz, and then and I married a contractor. So that's how I sort of got
Okay.
into it that way. So, and then we rebuilt this house, and then there was the '89 earthquake. And I made so much money, I didn't know what to do with it. So I had like drawers of cash because, you know, never put cash in the bank.
No, I'm with you. Hey, no, the '89 earthquake. Which one was that?
That was the one that was here in Santa Cruz.
Oh, is that right, man? Because I'm
Oh man.
because like me, when I came here from North Carolina, I kind of date things by different earthquakes: the Whittier earthquake, or the Northridge earthquake, or
Yeah.
where were you at certain times? Man, now when was your first earthquake? Because you don't have them in Ohio.
No, but in when I was 17, I lived in Mexico, and I was up on the second floor. We were getting ready to go to a big party, and there was a 5.1 earthquake, and you know, I had gone straight from Ohio to Mexico to Oaxaca, and so I'm looking around the bedroom, and my friends are like, "Yeah, that's an earthquake," and I was like,
Yeah.
"That was an earthquake? The mirror's moving," and I'm like, "And we're still gonna go to the party and everything?" Yeah. So,
Don't we gotta pack up or something? But
yeah. But yeah, the '89 earthquake was a game changer for me, for sure. I mean, we were putting mobile homes back up. You know, just the FEMA was giving away these big braces, big steel braces, like a, you know, construction horse kind of thing that clamped onto the I-beams underneath them. And we've been doing some mobile home work, and I'd probably flipped maybe 3 or 4 of them before the earthquake. So I was kind of getting familiar with mobile homes anyway. But I mean, we were just walking down the streets of the mobile home park saying, if you got cash, we'll put you at the top of the list. And we got another set of braces coming tomorrow. And we were doing 3 mobile homes a day, putting them up. And FEMA was paying for them. So we were telling people, you know, if you can pay for them now and then get FEMA to reimburse you, we'll come and do you tomorrow. Because, you know, payroll, when you've got all of a sudden you've got, you know, 30 employees, and it's like, holy, where am I going to get $40,000 for payroll at the end of the week? You know,
because we talked about it last week with Tiffany. It's like, I tell people, it's like, man, you ain't really been in business till you've had to borrow money to make payroll. You don't know what.
Oh man, yeah.
And when you're dealing with insurance company and other people, and you're like 4 down on the like you said, it's like, wait a minute, I can get the work done, but my guys are gonna be staring at me and like,
yeah. I had that in '89 and in '08, because I had a job at up at Lockheed, and you know, of course, they're notorious slow payers, and then at the end of their retention is like 90 days, so you know, you're waiting around for your last payment. And then we're working on someone's house, and their home equity line got shut down, so then they were standing there twiddling their thumbs like, what am I supposed to be doing now? And so payroll was tight those years, and then, you know, 2008, it just kept going. So
just want to throw a hello out to Tiffany and JB. I know they're watching right now, but it's and let's back up a little bit. How much commercial were you and the husband were doing? And did you and the husband work together all the time, or
no? So I got divorced in '96, I think, and got my own license and started doing my own stuff. So I was doing a lot of this stuff for him, like the as-bills, the you know, billing, invoicing, estimating, all that kind of stuff. So once I went on my own is when I really started doing the commercial work. So I got divorced in '96, and in '99 I was building Apple stores. So
wow. Good for you.
I was hired as a project manager at the Fisher Development. They do all like the gaps. Fisher Development is like the brother of the guy that owns the gaps.
Yeah, because we were doing all the guest clothing stores back in the mid '80s.
Yeah. So and then you know, David and Henry's or whatever, these all different mall stores. So
exactly.
Hired me to go over to Apple, and they had a big warehouse, and I was just building the store over and over again for 2 years. They were just like, make it wider, make it longer, make it shorter, make it taller. The big meeting was Tuesday mornings. I slept plenty of times in the parking lot out back because I did not have an hour to sleep and then an hour to drive back. I was just like, these seats recline, might as well do it. You know, it was unbelievable. I mean, some of the stories that came out of that were just insane, and it was just making up as we went along. And then we had 9/11 right before the store was supposed to open. You know, 3 months before, so we had stuff coming from Italy and Germany and all this specialty equipment stuff, and it was kind of a nightmare. But you know, if you didn't get it done, you got voted off the island, and that was the end of that. So I was trying to stay as long as I could.
especially with commercial work now. And not to get too personal, but did you and the husband get divorced because you were working together? Because man, me and my wife have almost gotten divorced when we worked together. It's tough to work with
no, it had to do with just more life stuff. In fact, here's the funny thing. So we got divorced in 96. Oh my God, we couldn't even speak on the phone. It was pretty bad. 7 years ago, my son got married in China. They wanted us all to go to the wedding, and I was like, I just don't want to be in the same country with that guy. Blah blah blah. But we ended up going.
Zoom.
Yeah. Then after we got back, my daughter-in-law called me and said, "Hey, they were working on a job together, and they just got red tagged and shut down." And I had just signed a contract with a guy, local guy who's well known, who bought a well-known restaurant, and it was Easter Sunday. They were going to be doing pictures and the commercial and a wedding and all this stuff, and so I needed help, and I called them, and we've been working together for like 3 or 4 years now. So I actually work with my ex-husband now again. He works for me.
Is that right? So
yeah.
It worked out. So it somewhat worked out, I guess. Good for you guys.
It didn't work at all, and then all of a sudden I was just like desperate. But I mean, it works. We're civil with each other. Treat him like he's an employee. He gets a regular paycheck. So, and it seems to work. I mean, we don't have any power struggles. I tell him what to do, and he knows a lot more about construction than I do in the field. So if he says, "Hey, this is a better way to do it," just like any other guy that works for me, I go, "Okay, if that's a better, safer way to do it, go for it."
Yeah. Man, and that's like you said, is because when you're in commercial, people don't like it. If you guys are watching right now, you don't do commercial construction, you just do residential. It's a total different game. Commercial, every trade is there at the same time.
Right.
Everybody even needs to. I mean, project managers have it tough because you're trying to keep tempers down because everybody's in everybody's way. But I mean, they're paying lease for that right now. It has to get done. When they say it's going to be done, it has to be done.
No kidding, yeah.
But it's but like you, is like I got tired of the traveling. I just said, man, I just didn't want to do it anymore. In the beginning, it was fun, and it really helped me when I was younger because I was traveling up and down California from Mexico up past San Francisco and everywhere in between, Sacramento. But and I would use the time like I would visit different martial arts schools and different styles. It didn't matter. And everybody was friendly. I loved it. But it did. Like my 28th birthday and my 29th birthday, I was in Mexico City away from my family. But it was fun. I mean, we've seen the pyramids because we did the Guess clothing stores out in Mexico. But,
okay, cool.
But so you get divorced, you get your own license. What's it like? And I should have asked this to Tiffany last week, but I know she kind of touched on it a little bit. What's it like being a female in construction?
Because
women don't even want to walk past a construction site, and you're in the middle of it, and you're beautiful.
I love it. I'm telling you, I think women have a superpower because I have no problem like going onto the job site, and if the guys say like, we shouldn't be doing it this way, we should be doing it this way, I just say okay, and we do it because they're in this field more than me. So I don't have to have a pissing contest with them. I don't have to, I want it done at this certain time, and I want it done high quality, and that's all the instruction I give them. And they go ahead. But I mean, I've had one guy when I showed up, he said, "Oh, I thought they were going to send the owner, Mel, to do the estimate." And I go, "Oh, well, I'll make sure to send that message back to the office." And then he actually said to me straight to my face, "And to show you what a good sport I am, I'm going to let you do the estimate."
Oh my God.
And I almost said, like, "Show you what a good sport I am. Bend over. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do your estimate." Because I'm like, I'll work for the guy, but I'm going to make really good money if I got to listen to somebody talk like that. We had that. We had one guy on site one time, and he was an alcoholic. He showed up. He'd been drinking in the morning. So I told him to pack up his stuff, and I think he called me a bitch or something. And all the other guys on the job site, like 4 of them, just kind of drop their tools and just slowly walk over and go, "We're going to help you pack up your truck, buddy. Here you go."
Yeah. I mean, because in all reality, 98% of the construction dudes are men. And when I say men, I mean, chivalry and all that stuff. They're going to open the door. They're going to pick up the tools for a late. I mean, honestly, construction guys are some of the best guys. I agree. We work hard, but at the same time, it's like to hear someone say something like that to another lady, whether it's the boss or not. most guys won't, don't really stand for it.
No, they don't. No.
But
And construction, in residential construction, it's the women that are making the decisions. It's the women that are calling me to get the work done. It's the women that are signing the contracts. It's the women that are writing the checks. And they often say to me, like, I feel so at ease being able to ask you a question. Doesn't make me feel like I'm dumb, or I don't haven't been listening or whatever. So they oftentimes say that to me. So most of my clients are women and gay guy couples that don't have any tools, need somebody to do the work, so they don't care.
And I've seen it forever now. It's like women in construction just seem to, like, I don't know, they usually seem to be more level-headed, or they don't have the temper that guys have sometimes, to where, like, I don't know, it's like, not all of us, but even me, but just guys doing the work and stuff. And when a homeowner shows up and says something, we almost take it personal, like, I didn't mess it up, or you said it was supposed to be like. And women are like, hey, all right, I don't know, it seems to be. That's why I told my daughter when she said, man, like, because she's like, she thinks I make a lot of money and I don't do anything. And her mom said, he's like, well, it took your dad a long time to get there. But I told her, I said, the women that I see in construction seem to do better only because they can communicate better. They see stuff better, I guess. I don't know. But have you found that to be true?
I think it's totally true. Yeah. Because I learned from the office side. So I don't go in the field, and I don't, I hear you talking all the time about, work on your business, not in your business. I never had a problem working in my business. I mean, I contributed some stuff, but I know that my strength is in the office, and it's talking to customers and, wrangling up work for these guys. So that's where I concentrate on it. But I think women can communicate better. And I understand, like, being in the office, how important it is to make sure all the lead time stuff is ordered. Everything is ordered before. You followed up on things to make sure they're in process. All those things. I see so many guys that come into the business, and they're like, oh, my boss is making all the money, so now I'm going to be a businessman and a builder. Like, they don't get that there's two separate things. So many of these guys would be doing so much better if they would just get some office help.
Man, I'm telling you, it's like, hey, Mel, your microphone keeps coming in and out a little bit. I don't know if you have wherever your microphone is, but somehow it keeps coming in and out. But because that's the first thing I tell guys when I'm working with them is like, hey, man, it's like, even they may have, it may be them and they may have a part-time helper, and I'm like, dude, the first person I want you to hire is, like, whether it's a VA or whatever, you need an office manager. Who can get you organized, and they're like, what? I need this. And I'm like, dude, you got to build that business, the office part.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's what really like Tiffany last week is like with her and her husband is like, and he knows how blessed he is to have her and run everything. And even with me, like when the wife came in, it's like she could put out a lot of fires and talk to people that she's better at it than I could.
Yeah.
Hey, JB is asking, what's the story behind cardinal construction? Is that your favorite bird, or what's going on?
Oh, well, I spent my formative years in Ohio, and that was the state bird.
Okay. Was it because North Carolina's state bird is cardinal, or the red robin? No, it's the red robin. Yeah. And to me, they're almost the same. But yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Big Anthony James is watching. Hey, Anthony James is watching it, and he's growing like wildfire.
Yeah.
I mean, he's moving into right now, going into Oregon, then up into Washington and some stuff. But and I think he's doing a little bit of both, getting into commercial right now. But I don't know. It's tough. How hard was it when you first started going out on your own and finding employees? Or did you already know the guys because you were in the field?
Yeah, so I knew. I mean, it's the same as it is now. I mean, you got to find new guys every once in a while. I mean, I have some guys that have been with me 8-10 years, but others that are constant rotation. So it was the same thing. So I just called all the contacts I had with insurance companies and any other places we'd worked, and just told them, hey, here's my new contact information, blah blah blah, and just kept on that kind of stuff and finding guys. I don't usually have a problem. I mean, sometimes they're surprised that they're going to be working for a woman, I think, but they'll make a comment like, oh, well, I've never had a woman boss in construction before, but then they blink and forget what they're, and I've had guys go toe to toe with me before, like, oh, does the girl really know what she's talking about? And they'll ask me stupid construction questions, and I just let them think whatever they want to think, because what they think of me is none of my business, honestly. I got my own things to worry about.
But see that just shows your security, and
You
that's
gotta
just
have thick skin, I think, to be in a male dominated business as a woman, because you got to be able to hold it, and you got to be able to say stupid shit to them like they say to you without being offended. So
because
whatever.
Because it was probably, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago. So I don't know, in the Facebook group that we're in together, but I had mentioned, my daughter being in construction and some other stuff. And one of the ladies was like, well, wear a wedding ring, whether you're married or not, that way the guys ain't gonna be hitting on you. And you immediately came back like, bullshit. I'm not married. Exactly. They don't need to know I'm not married, but they know that I forgot. It's like, but tell me, say that again, the way you wrote it or something. I don't know.
I just don't think, I don't see anybody telling guys they should be wearing wedding rings so women don't attack them all day long in their careers.
They take it off.
Right. Yeah. So, if someone comes up to me and they're like, hey, do you want to date? We're working together. I'd be like, hell no, we work together. So start there. But whatever. It's just life. I don't need any protection. I don't think, unless it's got like that, if I was on video, I'd tell you like the Spidey, thing, like it's got a secret power. You flick it at someone and it wraps them up in string or something. I don't know.
Now, let me ask you this, because we were talking about the insurance and we were talking about the earthquakes. I know the Whittier earthquake over here changed the insurance game. And I think it changed the whole United States, because the adjusters, and this is being recorded, but it's like, I ain't naming no names, but adjusters were getting in trouble and contractors because of all of the backhanded deals and, hey, we'll charge this much, I'll give you this much on the back end. And so, and they had to go in and start regulating, and now insurance companies only pay so much for certain things.
Right.
And got their own programs that you kind of have to follow. And for a while, I backed away from insurance work because of that, and then they came back to me like, yeah, we can only pay you this much on this one, but you're only charging this. We can pay you, $2,000 more on this thing that you're not charging. And I'm like, dude, just what do I got to do to get the number I need?
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of insurance work?
I do some insurance work, and now I'm starting to get back into it again because it's been 2 years since we had the fires here. We had 940 homes burned down. So I'm now starting to talk to people again. I used to live in that community. I built a house up in there in the mountains years and years ago in the 90s. Yeah. And so I'm talking to people now who've actually decided not to rebuild. They're just building at home, buying a home and fixing it up. But I do use the Xactimate program, which the insurance companies use. And I think, it's a hard call because times like this, like everything's so profitable that taking an insurance job is like a pay cut, so.
It kind of is. And then we just had I'm over here, like near us, Laguna Niguel, we had some pretty major homes get burned up.
Yeah.
And maybe 15 years ago, maybe longer, Laguna Beach itself, the fire went up the hill and burnt down. Even back then, they were like, $6 million homes each. So now they're probably 16 million. But
right, yeah,
and it's tough to see. And I don't know. It's like, but it is, and like right now we're so profitable that sometimes like these guys that run the business now, I look at some of the numbers and it's staggering to me, because I've been in it. I'm not as long as you, but it's since '83. So the numbers back then and the numbers now, it's mind boggling to me. It's like it's crazy.
It's great though. I'm glad I'm in it.
It is. And it's a great industry to be in. I just like the reason I'm doing all of this stuff that I'm doing now. I'm trying to give back because it's been great to me. A kid from North Carolina, no education, living the lifestyle that I was able to live, came from, learning construction, but really it came from learning the business part. Right. That's where I see so many guys get stuck.
Yes.
And I've got friends that are now, they're probably, 68, 70, and they're still on their hands and knees and busting their knuckles. And if you love doing it, and that's why you're doing it, that's okay. But when you're doing it because you never learned the business part, it breaks my heart because it's a tough gig.
That's true.
It's a tough gig. And that's where when I see these guys getting taken advantage of from like internet marketers and all this other shit that's on the internet, and they're just throwing $500 here,
Yeah.
$1,500 there, or $5,000. I mean, $1,500 to a guy working by himself in construction, that's a lot of freaking money, because I've been there.
Yeah.
And not to get any kind of return from it. I'm like, golly, what's going on?
Yeah.
But you've got to educate yourself. You got to talk to people like you. You've got to listen to these stories, these podcasts, and know that they can do it. When you first started out by yourself, like you said, you kind of had a list. You went through like the Rolodex. Remember the Rolodex?
Yeah, exactly.
If you got you younger guys watching it, there's this big wheel on your desk that you turn. It was like oversized business cards, and you flip through
In
it.
a plastic little thing, didn't have a plastic thing you put them in?
Yeah, let me go through my Rolodex. Hang on. But how are you getting business back then that wasn't word of mouth or referrals?
Oh gosh, I knew a lot of realtors. I had my real estate license at some point, so a lot of times I would call them and say, if they have any escrow work that needs to be done before they close, or anything that's going to be paid out of escrow, stuff like that. If they needed, whenever houses change hands, they need something. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of stuck myself in the middle of that if I could. And then I don't know, so like right now, I feel like it's a good time to not do insurance work and that kind of stuff. But all the industrial stuff, when it slows down, like, the colleges and the schools and the public projects and stuff like that, I think, that time's going to be coming back around. But I applied to all that stuff.
Yeah.
Anything I could find.
Did you run advertisements at any time?
I don't think I did. I'm not a big advertiser because I find that when I show up.
Go ahead.
When I show up face to face, a lot of times people remember me for one thing, because I look a lot different than the other contractors. I would have a better picture than any of the contractors that show up. So I would go to like open houses, brokers opens, stop in, introduce myself to the realtors, and they were like, "Oh, you're a contractor? Oh, you do that kind of work? Okay, great. Give me your card." And they remember me.
Yeah.
As opposed to the other 3 guys who walked in and gave her a card that day. Yeah. So again, I think the ladies have an advantage on that.
They do. And what I want people that are listening right now, guys that are and girls, contractors that are listening, it's the relationships. You agree?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and it always has been. And like, and even through marketing that I try to teach, or even the internet and the websites and all that crap, it's like, man, you got to build these relationships. And if you have to, like, I just came back from Vegas right now. I drove through the desert this morning, coming home, but we were there for like almost, for 3 days, and it's all about how to build your business with video. But it's the video really helps you build relationships when you're not face to face or out there, and people see you on YouTube or whatever, Facebook, and they feel like they know you. Right. But it's everything is relationships. It's
totally.
It's tough for these guys that. And for like construction is like we get a bad rap, and it's not that it's not, and it's, we earn it. I mean, because so many contractors just won't show up when they say they're going to show up.
Right.
They won't get the job done when they say they're going to get it done. I mean, and sometimes it is like material or something else, but a lot of times it's just, I'll see contractors, they'll show up to one job site for 2 or 3 hours, and then that's because they need to get that deposit from that person, and they're like, spreading themselves too thin, and it's just not a good way to do business.
No, it isn't. That's a tough one. That's a hard one at the beginning.
It is, and they're just kind of shooting themselves in the foot, and they don't even realize it. Yep. But talking about the internet, and because I've seen your website, and I like everything that's there, but you. Like the websites that we build, you've got your fill out form, and you kind of make them jump through some hoops just right there on the website.
Oh, they just got to send me some information about what they want. All they really need is the phone number, brief description, and their name.
Yeah, because I think so. Because on your website, like, I mean, they can fill out, like, I don't know what's on there. I mean, because it's more than just a phone number.
Oh, yeah, because it emails it to me. Yeah. But I mean, there's like 5 pages. So there's like, pictures, referrals, all that kind of stuff. Just talking about what we do. And on each and every page, I believe somewhere on each and every page, there's a link to like call us or connect with us about an estimate. Yeah. And so I get maybe 1 or 2 of those a day. Got 2 today.
Yeah. From the website?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Google is like, love it or hate it, Google is just, I don't see it
I
going
know.
anywhere no time soon.
Yeah.
So when you do get new calls, like, are you answering it or do you send them to some computer bot and like let a, like, I don't
No,
know,
no, no. I
CRM.
answer all of them. I have an office downtown in Santa Cruz, but if they call that number and I'm not there, it transfers to my cell phone. So, but then I do have to block unknown numbers. So a
Yeah,
lot of times when they call me, they get my voicemail on the first time, and then I call them right back. But
yeah.
I used to have an office assistant at the beginning of the pandemic, though. She had a baby early, so
Hmm.
she could not come back to work. And so yeah, it's been 2 years. I've just been doing it myself, which is kind of unbelievable. But I haven't been doing much else but sitting here working for 6 days. So all right, I'm making money while I got it going on. So
It is, but so and that's what I want to kind of touch on because we talk about relationships and stuff. Is like I see a lot of these contractors again, the younger guys. I don't know, maybe the older guys. I don't even know what I consider old anymore. But is they want to kind of let these computer generated bots and all this other stuff, like have the homeowner fill this out or do that and do some other stuff and and I'm like, dude, if someone's calling you, like, I said, it's like when you call the bank, it's like, or anybody that you have to push all these different numbers. And I'm like, dude, I just want to talk to somebody.
yeah,
And my wife won't. She'll just hang up and keep calling until someone,
right,
she leaves a couple of messages and waits for someone to call back, but she wants to talk to somebody.
right,
And
yeah,
it's too hard to have a computer with the AI talk to it and do all of
yeah,
this stuff. It's too, they're like, I believe in CRMs when it comes to like the systems and keeping things organized. There's a purpose
yeah.
for that, but not building the relationship.
No, no, it definitely doesn't build help with that.
No.
Um,
What kind of systems do you guys have in place that do keep track of because you just said you guys are running 4 jobs at a time.
yeah, and we're booked out to October now.
Wow, good for you guys.
Yeah. So, but I think it's going to slow down. So we're just kicking it as hard as we can right now. But so people can email me from the website. They can call me, but they have to leave a message on the first time, and
Yeah,
then I just call them back. And once we get going on that, everything's in place from doing the estimate to following up with the estimate to writing a contract, getting them started, all the way through. So I
yeah,
don't put them on the project board, of course, until I have a signed contract and a deposit, because
yeah.
so many people are, when you're out this far, when you're out till October, people are just taking your estimate and then showing it to somebody else. Hey, can you do this job for this much money? Hey, you're welcome for all that time. So a lot of
Yeah,
times I'm telling people, and a lot of my calls are return calls from customers or personal referrals from people I've worked with, which those are
yeah,
golden. If somebody gives that, I know the job is mine, basically.
yeah,
And a lot of times we work in a neighborhood, and then all the neighbors call us from around there because
yeah,
they're all saying, "Oh, I want my kitchen done too. We all have houses built by the same builder at the same year, and we're all ready for this kitchen or whatever."
yeah,
So yeah, I'm lucky that way. People just keep calling us.
yeah.
So it's a small town. You do good work. You show up on time. You do what you say you're going to do, and you charge what you say you're going to charge. People have no complaint. They love their new stuff and
Yeah,
the process that they went through. So
yeah. And are you doing do you have your order board or your board on the wall with your projects going on, or is it all computerized now with like
oh no,
Google?
yeah. I wish I could show you on my thing here, but I have my May calendar right next to me to the left, and I can see every single thing that's happening on May. Then
Yeah,
behind me, I have June, July, August, September, October.
yeah,
Smaller ones, but each day is marked out, and it
yeah.
changes as it goes on. But at least I have a picture of what I can look over and go, oh, who's where at what job site. So
Hey, Mel, is that because of the age that we are? Because that's how I am. I want to be able to glance over at the wall or look behind me, and I can see it all right now, instantly. I'm not going to my phone, and it's fine to have it on the phone, and we've got it on the phone to where all the guys can pull up Google calendars, and everybody kind of knows what's
yeah,
going on. But I like to be able to look over there and see it. I still like the yellow vanilla, vanilla
yeah.
folders with everything in it, with the paper. Print it out. Well, it don't need to be printed. I'm like, print it out. I kind of want
Because
to touch it. I want to see it.
I find like if I have to get on my computer, look at something, I'll get on there and I'll be like, oh yeah, there's another recipe for some other thing that I need to cook. And then there's, oh, wait, what did I get on here for? Oh, I wanted to see what jobs were going on. No, this
Yeah.
way I can just turn to the left and look at the board. Okay, I got the information.
Yeah, I know. And I wish Anthony was still watching because I know he's younger than we are, but he does it that way. Even Tiffany right here, what she says, Tiffany says
Okay, good.
she has 3 whiteboards and the calendar.
Good.
But that's not Tiffany. You're not helping us. You're up there at the age that we are. I mean, I need some of these 25-year-old, 30-year-old contractors to let me know it's like everything's computerized or it's I don't know. It's I like to be able to just instantly look at it and see it and wipe it off and But there is a place for the whole CRM, customer relation management software, that stuff. But I'm supposed to get the reminders to call them back and to do this. But that's what a good office. That's what running a business is keeping those systems and calling people back when you say you're going to call them back, checking up on the delivery weeks in advance, days in advance, to where I've got, contractors and I've done it. That's how I know it is, I'll call up the day before and then the guy say, oh no, man, we were going to call you. That's going to be a week and a half away. And I'm like, shit, what do you mean you were going to call me? What happened? To where now I know is I got to be calling them 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week, making sure everything is because they're not the ones getting yelled at or having to disappoint the homeowner. And man, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. To where if I told them 3 weeks in advance, it doesn't shock them.
Right.
How do you feel? Are you guys, you doing stuff like that?
Well, I am a slave to my to-do list. I will be honest about that. And I have multiple categories. The first category is make money. So that's invoicing, change orders, estimates, picking up money. That's number one. Those are the first things I do every day. And the second things are who do I call, text, or chat with? I got a list of those people. And then every day I just look at my list in the morning, print out the top 5, put those up and get those top 5 done and then start working on the other ones. But I live and die by my to-do list. So it's
because I don't know.
It's a thing of beauty.
It is. It's always right there, man.
Oh, there you go.
It's always, and I tell these guys, it's right there. I can flip through it. It's I don't touch it. It's something to do with the the subconscious mind. I'm writing it down that makes me remember. But I like that. I'm gonna repeat those. It's number 1 is you said is your to-do list is always make money, and that's what I tell these guys is they try to throw these big numbers at me. Oh man, I'm trying to shoot for 2 million this year, and I'm like, how much is profit? Well, and I'm like,
oh no.
I'm like, dude, the only thing that matters is profit.
That's right.
Stop throwing numbers at me. I don't care about 5 million, 10 million. How much is profit? So make money, and then number 2 is who you're going to call, who you have to follow up on. I don't know. Is there a 3? What was number 3? Do you have a 3 on that to-do list?
Oh, for me? Let me show you.
Yes, ma'am.
I wish I could show you this beautiful list. It is a piece of work.
Doggone.
And then I've got just the other ones answer, get back to people. So for someone else, they've been calling me for a year about this deck. They told me they had a structural engineer going to help them. I showed up and I swear to you, they had a picture a kid drew with colored pencils and it said attach the board to the boards on the roof and attach the thing to the thing and then put the post in concrete. But I don't know how much concrete you need to put in there or anything. So I didn't put that on the drawing. I was like, no, you don't get it. So those are just follow-up things, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And, the make money, the calls. And then I have just a go list as well. So I have a go list, go to the bank, stop here, pick up plans, drop things off, go to the job site, whatever. So my goal list would be 3rd. So yeah.
And I guess the people are doing notes on the iPhone and the other stuff. And I'm telling you guys, if you're watching this right now, I don't care when you're watching it, it has not changed for me since the early 80s. It's
right.
Writing is a direct line to the subconscious mind. Even if you write it down in your whatever you want to call it, your daily calendar, your to-do list, whatever you want, writing it down, you could leave it somewhere. And just by writing it down, you're going to have, 8 times more likely to remember what it is that you had to do versus speaking it into your notes or whatever other stuff. It's just something about it. Because it's all about organization. When it comes to really honestly running a real successful business, it's about the organization. It's relationships, but then it's the organization. And by being organized is how you build, like you said, you tell people how much it's going to cost. That's how much it costs. You tell them when you're going to get done. That's when you get done. It's and everything is the way you said it was going to be. They're going to love you forever.
Yeah. I'm lucky that way. Yeah.
Tiffany said sometimes the old ways are the best. She still has her whiteboard.
On the internet.
If the internet goes down, and
I
it
love
does
that.
go down.
True.
Yeah, especially like JB is over in God, where's he? Foley, Alabama. It's the Gulf Coast, man. But the storms that come through there, whether it's
Oh,
not just the hurricanes, but the big thunderstorms that we don't get here, that they get
yeah.
back east, that'll knock out the power, the internet, the everything.
Oh, yeah.
And when I first started using a computer and the whole Microsoft Word and all the other invoices and stuff is like, it doesn't happen as much now, but man, I'd be halfway through typing something up and something would happen and I have to start all over again because I didn't hit save in time.
Yeah.
To where now I'm like, I'll type a couple of words, hit save, type a couple and hit save. But I don't know. I didn't have that problem with my old typewriter and the carbon copy that me and Tiffany was talking about last week.
Oh, man.
So let's talk about like so say let's say like 1990 the way construction was versus 2020 and minus the whole COVID crap. But like doing work today and doing the work then, do you think things have changed?
Oh man, it's so much easier now. Mm-hmm. I think like digital pictures. I have clients. I mean, I've had clients. I've basically rebuilt their home, sent them all digital pictures, digital invoices, electronic payments, everything. It's so easy. I mean, in the 90s, we were like pulling over with our big suitcase phones. Oh, let me hook up the thing. Let's unzip the thing. Let's open it up. Get it right. Put the parts together. Now you're just like driving down the road. Hey, Siri, call so and so. Hey, when's that thing gonna arrive?
I'm telling you, man. If you're 40 and younger and watching this right now, you don't have a clue. I feel like my granddad. Oh yeah, it was like you don't know what it was like, boy. And I'm like, but the internet changed everything. When I sold our first company in 2001, and then came back to construction in 2004, the internet was alive, and it was different. Like you said, the digital pictures, the videos, just everything. It was so much easier. The organization with the computer stuff, this and that. It was just like you said, the invoices, everything, tracking stuff, and I'm big on tracking. I still use the pen and paper to track, but it goes into the computer. And now with construction and marketing and internet, if someone's not where you're at, it's so much easier to get in front of the right people. And if you do the right things, golly, like way back in the day, I mean, me and Tiffany was talking about last week was, we had the 35 millimeter with the roll of film that you had to take to Costco. But even then, man, it was like I was a kid just showing. I was happy to show my before and after pictures and this and then it kind of moved over. Even when I first got back in, like I told myself I needed an iPad because I was going to job sites and swiping and showing the before and after pictures and different things. But it's that kind of stuff that made a difference. Because you get to plant that seed in the homeowners in their head. But and you're doing complete remodels, even some brand new builds, to where we're like the architect and the designer and stuff. You guys, like, I know Anthony is doing like 3D and stuff. I don't do any of that, but do you do any of that stuff?
My program's limited. The 3D-ness is limited to it. You can't really, fly through it like you can fly through some of the architects I work with send over these great drawings, and you're just like a 4-foot tall person flying through the little house room to room. It's cool to be able to see it.
It is.
So, I don't do too much design, but the program I use does have some 3D ability, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, I know like some of the painters that I work with is, they're able to take some pictures in the house and stuff and just show them new colors and what things are going to do and how it's going to change. And we, it's like for good, better or worse, that wasn't around in the 90s.
Right.
Even up until like 99, 2000. And then the learning curve, and it's still a learning curve right now. Like this conference that I was at, just these is like, Gary V was there. Gary Vaynerchuk, a huge internet guy, but he was like, a new technology came out. Fuck you. You got to learn it. And he was like, telling people, was like, don't be lazy. Stop watching Netflix. Stop watching Amazon. It's like, it's like, no, because he like, I'm older than everybody in here. He's saying, he goes, and I have to learn it. You got to learn it. Just it's like, it's just you keep growing. Because the old saying is like, the fruit on the vine that's not growing, it dies, withers, and falls off. And it's like, I don't know, age is chasing me, and I'm trying to stay as young as I can, whether it's working out or trying to keep up with new technology and all the new stuff. And really now it's like, what can I learn that's going to help the guys that run my company, or like, I sold most of it off, but it's still, the better it does, the better I do. And now that my daughter wants to do everything that I did, it's like, I want to be on the forefront of it and stay.
Great.
But like you said, and let's kind of touch on it. As interest rates have went from 3%, they're almost hitting 6% right now.
Yeah.
We've been riding like I don't know. You're up in Santa Cruz, but California is known for surfing. Period. Like you go to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the waves look like you're at a lake. There's like, and I see people walking around with surfboards. I'm like, dude, come on, what are you doing? But we've been on a pretty big wave right now, and we've been riding it, and everybody's made some money. I've been yelling at the camera to these contractors, like you just said. I better go to your house and find a suitcase full of cash. You better have some money. If not, you've got no one to blame but yourself, because it's got to slow down. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
It's like a 12-year cycle to me. I mean, we were like 96, and then we were 2008. And then, the 2008 thing lasted 4 years. So if you consider that ended in 2012, I mean, we're coming up on another 12-year cycle again. 2024 is just around the corner. So I would say, and I've seen like you, I have like 11 or 12 credit cards. Like all the guys have one. Every time I pay the bill, I look at the interest rate on that, and all of them have creeped up a quarter or half a point, and now they're starting to back down the limits. So I pay mine off every month, so I never carry a balance. But in 2008, I was carrying balances, and all of a sudden they reduced, from like 10,000 to 5,000, and I've already charged up 4,000, and I got a $4,000 balance. So now I got 1,000 left that I can charge up, and that's like no slack at all.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing that now. All the interest rates have all creeped up on every card that I have, and 2 of them, the limits have come down.
Man.
So I'm ready this time, because I'm debt free, and I can do whatever I need to do to skate through the next however many years that takes. But it's definitely coming. I mean, the stock market's down like almost 50%.
Yeah, it is. Like, and one of the guys one of the speakers that was there this week, Patrick David, he's a big finance guy, insurance guy, but like he was saying is like, and I don't know the numbers, but he was like, at an interest rate, because people don't buy the home for the price, they buy what they can afford to pay each month. They do that with cars, they do it with everything is credit. So at a 3% interest rate, you can you got a $3,000 a month mortgage, you can buy an $800,000 house. But now at a 5.5% or 6% interest rate, that $3,000 that you can afford is only going to be able to get you a $500,000 or $600,000 house. And that 6%, I can see it going back up to like 8%. I remember one of the first houses we bought, I think we got 7, like right under 8, and everybody like, oh, you got under 8 interest rate.
Yeah.
and I remember some of my
historically low it is now.
Yeah, because I remember buddies paying 12 and 13% interest rate on their homes, and it was normal. To where like recently these 2 and 3%, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I don't know, but it's like hopefully someone's watching it now. It's not too late. You gotta save. And a couple of videos that I have and some of these trainings that I do to these guys, I tell them as soon as you say you're working for yourself or you're starting your own business, you are now an employee. So all the money that comes in comes to the company, and you pay yourself less than what you should. I mean, like you could probably go and work for someone, make $30 an hour. You should probably pay yourself $20 an hour or something. But because you need to build the business, and I did it, so I'm guilty of it. So that's how I know. I'm like, dude, learn from me. Is all the money that came in, I was spending. It's like I grew up poor. The checks were coming in, I was spending them. It's like, and that's no way to run a business. So
no, that is not.
so as soon as you say you're in business for yourself, and I'm getting ready to do another video because it's so important, but it's like the money comes into the company, whatever the company is, Cardinal Construction, and then you pay Mel and you pay everyone else, but you try to make the company cash strong, cash happy.
Right.
And did you know finances from the beginning going into it, or is it because you went to college a little bit, you did some stuff, you worked in these other places, so you knew?
Yes. Yeah. So I ended up taking finance classes, accounting classes, and I'm kind of a numbers freak anyway. From the time I was a kid, I love numbers anyway. So for me, I actually enjoy looking at all the receipts, time cards, everything, and figuring out to the dime what I've made. I can tell you to the penny on every single job for the last 10 years what I've made.
God,
so
I love that, man. Yeah, I hope these guys are watching right now, listening to this, whatever it is how important do you think that is?
Oh, it's vital if you want to stay in business, because, it's that whole thing. Oh, I still have checks. I still have money. So it's not true. The other thing that I'm feeling that's really scary here in Santa Cruz is I see this whole crop of young guys. They're good. They're hardworking. They know what they're doing, but they're buying like an $80,000 truck this year. And I'm just like, dude, you just signed up for like 7 or 8 years of payments. What is that, like $1,000 a month?
Yeah.
I mean, this is not the time to buy a new truck.
No.
Keep driving, wheels, put new wipers on, keep going.
Well, because I just looked at one of these Fords, not to buy, but it was kind of popping up. I'm looking at some other stuff, but it was like $96,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God dang, that's a house in most parts of the country.
Right?
Who is like, it's like, what do you pay? It's like, it's I don't know. It's, if you have the money and like, I don't know, like, what's the guy's name that wants everyone to be debt free? He does the financing shows on the radio and TV. He has all the books. Can't think of his name now. But I want everyone to be debt free, but at the same time, this guy teaches don't do any credit, and that's not good either, because you're almost business. You're only as strong as your credit limit and your credit score. So you got to have that credit. But man, like you said, paying off your credit cards each month is so important. It's just, there's so much to learn about the business side that I hope these guys get from the podcasts that we're doing right now with these. It's so, because it like you just said, these guys, like, they're younger, they're hardworking, they're this or that. It's painful to watch, because I went through it, so I know what they're going through. And if you got family and kids, it's even harder.
Oh yeah. And then I hated it at 2009, and then 10, and then 11. I'd call some of these guys that I would use for subs or whatever, paving. Hey, can you come pave this driveway? I'm not in business anymore. That. And then you got this whole new crop of like new guys that have to come in and learn how to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
So some of those relationships are, guys are gone working for somebody else. So.
Yeah, with November 2007, when it started to go boom, in 2008, the whole house is like a lot of construction guys went out of business that really shouldn't have been in business, and I kind of see that's going to happen right now too, because like you said, there's so much work right now. You got these like people who shouldn't be. I mean,
I know.
To where it's like, and they're going to be kind of the first ones to go. But we had kind of set ourselves up, one, because of the internet, with the website, the videos, everything else. We were like one of the couple of guys left standing, and everybody's like, the homes got foreclosed on. Investors came in, bought them, the people left the houses, destroyed them as they were going out, so they had to be redone. So someone had to redo it, but they tried to beat guys up on prices, and I'm like, dude, you need me more than I need you. You got to get this thing turned around and sold. And I'm like, I've been doing this since '83, so like, I'm not the kid that you can talk to. So so you kind of got to build yourself into that. And that doesn't that's not overnight. I mean, that's like a 5-year, 10-year game.
I know, but do you remember, you probably remember the first like client that you fired, right?
Oh God, yes, man. It's like, that's a huge point that you bring up just in business period, is knowing the red flags from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I got it down to where I'd only do it like probably once every other year, but it used to be 3 a year, to where either my ego or something was like, I can win them over. I can convince them. I can talk. It's like, no, man, some people are only happy being miserable, and they're never, no matter how good you are at what you do.
Exactly.
Oh,
that's so true.
It is.
Yeah.
God. And I don't know. It's like where you're at up in Santa Cruz, because you're around some big money.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, people think people with billions of dollars. Those I've worked for probably 3 different billionaires. I mean billionaires, and they were probably the 3 nicest people I've ever worked for. And then I mean. Just because you have money, so a lot of people think, oh, they're bad people. And I'm like, dude, they got money.
Oh
They
no, I
work
don't
their
think
asses
so.
off. No, money has nothing to do with their personality. Nothing. It's like, and that's the red flags you got to look for.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. The first clients that I ever fired were it was a couple. They wanted to add a second story on. They were talking about we were down to the final kind of numbers of everything, and she was saying something, and he turned to her and told her to shut up.
Mm.
And I was like, I think I gotta go right now. I just remembered I had a meeting I gotta leave right this minute. So I left and I cranked up the numbers on that thing so high it made it unbuildable. And she called me and she was like, well, if you could just lower the roofing by $10,000, I said, I'm sorry, but I can't do it for that. And I'm just like, I would end up in handcuffs if I had to be there listening to that guy talk like that.
Yeah.
I couldn't bear the thought of it. I thought they don't even know me for more than like an hour, and he just told his wife to shut up in front of me. Like, what do they act like when they're here by themselves? Like, you kidding me?
And I think the first ones we fired was because of the way he was talking to my employees, and I was like, oh no. I said, I'm out. I said, it's way too hard to find good employees, and then way too costly to train them. I said,
for sure.
I said, yeah. It's like, and some people are just rude. It's crazy. But you got to be able to. When back in the day, when just first coming up and stuff, and that's why I try to teach this stuff is you don't have any money. You're taking jobs that you shouldn't take for more than you should take because you got to do something. You're behind the 8 ball. You're stuck in a hard place. And those jobs that and they start going south. There's no profit in them anyway. And I look back and every one of them, I tell myself like I'm in this position 100% because of me. I should have never been here. And like, what do I need to do to make sure this happens either never again or a lot less? And it's everything it's everything that we've just talked about over this last hour. Building the relationships, knowing your numbers, doing your to-do list, calling people back, being where you're supposed to be, all of that. It's because being broke and having to take a job you don't want is nowhere to be.
It's the worst. And then when you're broke and you do a job like that and then you lose money on it, you just want
you would have, oh my God. It's like,
when people tell me, oh, can you do it for less? I always say the same thing. Like, I can sit on the beach and make no money.
Yes.
So why would I go to work and make no money?
No. And that's what I said. I was like, I said, I don't know. Let me call up my guys and ask them, instead of making $35 an hour this week, will you work for 20 hours or $20 an hour? It's like, no. I mean, where's the money going to, where is it coming from? Do you want a cheaper material? Oh, no. But you want the labor part to somehow get cheaper. But and I'm sure you have done it, and we've already into this for like 58 minutes. God, we could go for hours. But you've positioned yourself like we had positioned ourselves, and that's what I tell these guys is, and the internet really has, and the videos and all this other stuff made it easier. But we've got it to where we can probably easily charge anywhere from 12 to close to 20% more than our competition, only because of our reputation and our brand. And I could probably try to go higher. That's when they start going, wait a minute, I don't know, that's a little bit too much. What do you think?
I totally agree. People tell me, I think I might have told you this before. So it was one of these situations where it's a neighborhood. They're all, coming, having us work for them. So like about the 5th person that comes to me says, well, your name's getting passed all around this neighborhood. Do you want to know what people are saying about you? So I'm thinking to myself, well, sure. He's asking, for a job. He goes, well, you're kind of known as the Ferrari of contractors. And I go, well, that's great. He goes, but you're also known as the Ferrari of pricing.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, I've never once had it to be my goal to be the low bidder. Never.
No.
But it's always been my goal to do the most beautiful projects in Santa Cruz. So I got to pay my guys well, and I got to take my time doing it the right way. So if that's the sort of outcome you want, we're the people for you.
Yeah.
And if people call me, they go, I'm calling 10 contractors. I automatically tell them I'm not going to be a low bidder.
No.
I just won't put my name on anything that I'm not proud of. So
No.
that's the way it is.
And like right now, and I know contractors are watching this right now, but all over these different Facebook groups is, everybody cries about employees. I can't find anybody. I'm like, dude, you can't find anybody because nobody wants to fucking work for you.
Right.
You got to have a company worth working for, but two, you got to have money to pay them. And if you're not charging a high enough rate, I mean, it's like, I'm not charging all this money so I can get rich. I'm charging all this money because these guys freaking deserve it. Because and like right now, my daughter doing the construction thing and getting her license, but I've taken her around on some job sites and I make her do some of the work. I said, if you're gonna do this, you're not gonna be the one doing it, but you need to know how to do it. You need to know how hard these guys work because you need to really respect what they're doing because they're the ones who deserve to get paid.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. I realize that my employees are everything in my company because without them, I'd be just sitting at my desk doing nothing all day.
And people need to understand that. I'm like,
yeah.
They look, but you're running like 4 different, like you said, you got 4 different projects going on. People look at me like, oh man, you're doing this and that. Or, the company ain't just so. I said, it's not me. I said, it's like, I got some great guys, but they want to work for me because I treat them great, and they know how much I appreciate them, and I appreciate them because I did it, and I can still do it. And sometimes I do because it's almost like meditation for me now. But I understand what the hell they're doing. It's like, and I don't want her taking that for granted, so I make her do this shit.
Yeah.
So you want to do it? All right, we're gonna go there. You're gonna learn this. So I'm telling you, you're watching this. There's nothing more important than treating your. That's why when the guy was disrespected and talking to them, I let my guys and they and that word, it's like wildfire. It spreads through the company. It's like, oh my god, you should have seen Brian. It's like we had to hold him back. He's gonna beat this guy up because of the way they talk to us. It's like, no, man. It's like all you have is your employees.
That's the truth. Yeah.
It's like I can only make so much money with my 2 hands. I can't do 4 projects in a week by myself.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And you wouldn't be able to schedule things out.
Yeah, and for my guys, like giving them things like so they can have part of their life. Like, oh, your kid has a play that they're in this afternoon. Yes, you can take off the afternoon. Like I always make accommodations for that sort of stuff.
Yeah, always.
For them.
Oh, I encourage it. The whole thing is like, and when they first come in, it's like there's certain books that I give them. I used to give them the CDs. Now it's just the audio book. It's like one of the first ones is like The Richest Man in Babylon. Super easy to read and stuff, but it's about saving. But it's about saving money, and it's like and some other stuff. And I talk to them about all of that stuff. We do it like because I tell people it's like. These guys have their own dreams. They got their own goals, their own life. And it's not to come to work and make me a lot of money. Exactly. It's like, and I need to find out what it is and help them achieve it. It's like, and they know that if they ever, because there's even in this area, there's probably 8 contractors that have come up through me and I've helped them get their own thing going. And it's like, because I was like, man, look, if you want your own business, let me help you. It's like, it's not for everybody. And most of the time when you show them what it takes, most of them don't want to do that. And I don't know. Sometimes I ask myself, it's like, what the hell? I'd rather just go get a job. Because as a business owner, you don't get the clock out. And that's what people don't understand.
Yeah, I love it when people used to say that to me. Oh, you work for yourself. You get to make your own hours. And I was like, pretty much look at your watch. Look at every hour on there. And my business comes first. And then I get what's
No, you get to make your own hours. It's like, it's like there's no such thing. You're never off the clock. Everything. Until you hire like good project managers and good sales guys and other stuff. I mean, but it takes a lot of work, and I don't think people understand that. That's why like I did some work for a company. Sue me if you want, Paul Davis Restoration, but it's but there's a lot of these restoration companies. There's a lot of franchises that you can buy into in different. Like whether it's painters or flooring or roofing, it's like it's like $150,000 minimum to buy into these things.
Oh wow!
For a reason, you got to do their training and stuff. And you don't make when you buy a franchise, you don't make a lot of money. A buddy of mine that went through one of my coaching programs 25 years ago, but he did the corporate thing for years and saved up money. And we looked at some different restaurants. We looked at all these different franchises, and he ended up going with Supercuts, and now he has like probably 18 of them in Des Moines, Iowa. But all of the money and all of the work at the end of the year, you're lucky if you end up with a profit of 28 grand.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of work.
Yes, it is. But the goal is within the first 3 years, you've got 5 Supercuts locations somewhere, because they even know it, to where if you've got 5 Supercuts doing pretty good and you're getting 30 grand profit from each of them, now it's working. Yeah. And so you kind of just overseeing it. And that's what, so it works, but it's a lot like Subways and stuff. Same thing. Subway is one of the cheapest franchises to get into, and it's 75 grand and up.
Oh, wow.
And you've got to work it. And if you're lucky, at the end of the year, you're going to end up with 32 to 35 grand profit, which is, it's crazy. But if you open your own construction, you learn how, you got a trade, you do something, whatever it is, or a general, but you start working for yourself, is you can make a lot of money in construction, but how much of it can you do by yourself? You've got to have these teams, and everybody has to get some of the money.
Yeah.
It's not, man, we could be here forever, and it's been over an hour. I so appreciate you coming on here and sharing for a couple of things. Like last week, Tiffany here is like, I hope some of these guys, you're like, oh man, come on, get meat heavy and go, man, these guys are doing it. I can do better than what I've been doing or something. I don't know. I hope they learn something from all of this, because I don't know how much time I have left on earth, but these videos, I hope will stay around forever. And some of these guys can learn from it, because unless you go to business school, but if you go to business school, you probably don't end up in construction. It's tough. There's a lot of guys in construction that just doesn't have the business knowledge that they need, and they end up suffering more than they need to.
Definitely.
Before we get out of here, what do you any last thoughts or something you could share with people watching? It's a great industry. And we will never be overtaken by robots. I don't care what people try to say.
No, I don't think so either. I just think it's important. I think the numbers, I always go back to the numbers. Unless you know your numbers, why bother? I always have a job every year that loses money. I've already had my job this year that lost money. I can go back and I can tell you exactly the reasons why it lost money, and I try to never do that on any other job. So it's just.
But you're tracking it, and you know.
Yes, I know to the penny how painful that one job was, but the rest of them are good. So. Hey, and by the way, if your daughter ever wants to do a ride along.
Oh my God! I'm glad you said that, because my wife even said, when she heard you were going to be on the call this week, she was like, ask her if we can send Danielle up there with her for a couple of days. And I said, she may not come back.
Come on, I don't know.
It's funny you start off with know your numbers, and you always lose money on one job, because Alec Austin is watching right now. He was on the show a month ago or something, but he does patios. But I know there's been a couple of jobs that he lost some money on, and he learned some stuff, because it's not fun to lose money on a job. It's not fun to break even, because we as business owners, I don't want to break even, because everything that I've done was for nothing.
And you took the risk that someone might get hurt, or something might get broken, or all those other things that come with it. That's another one of those, like, you can sit on the beach and make no money, and you take no risk whatsoever. Nobody's going to fall off the ladder. Nobody's going to back a car into a chimney. Nothing like that's going to ever happen. You're just going to get a sunburn.
I mean, you just want. I may do one of these podcasts where I get about 5 or 6 of us together, and all we do is tell crazy stories like that. Because these younger guys, if you haven't been through it, get ready.
Yeah.
Anthony said he showed up one time and the roofer had built everything wrong, and he was like, "Oh my God, how could you? How could what? He just he was like, "Oh my God, oh my."
I can't even imagine.
It is so know your numbers. What else can you give them? Because that's so big, and I keep yelling it. Know your numbers, and I don't know if they hear it from other contractors. Maybe they'll start to get it.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to get some help.
Yeah, get some help.
Definitely.
But what kind of help?
Not everybody knows everything. I had to get help at the beginning too. So
So get some help. Hey, Alec is watching right now. He said the homeowner said thank you.
Oh, good.
He almost did it. Well, I think, hey, Alec, what was it? If you're still watching, it was like because I think it was maybe the product was faulty or something that didn't even have anything to do with him or something. But he went back and took care of it the way we should. It's like people ask me all the time, "Hey, what's the guarantee?" And I'm like, "Really?" I said, "On our labor and things that we do, it's really a lifetime. I mean, if I've done something that was wrong, I'm going to come back and fix it."
100% agree with that.
Yeah, and if it was something that the manufacturer or someone that I bought that I do business with, I'm going to go to bat and go, look, dude, this is long-term game. This is relationships.
Yes.
5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, if you want me to still buying products from you, we got to make this right.
And they always say if you take a situation that's bad and you turn it around, people are more apt to tell you, give you a great referral because you took something and took it from disaster to making it work again. Whereas if everything just goes fine on the job, they're less apt to just say, yeah, we have a great contractor. So I always try and do that. Oh, sunroom was popping and sound isn't in warranty. Oh,
had to look at this. Said,
oh boy.
Said he had to refund $20,000, but there was nothing he could do to fix it. Yikes. Ouch. Yeah, it does. That's as bad as owning Bitcoin right now.
Man, well, that's somebody who's going to stay in business because people are going to.
It is. But Alex is a great guy. He should have been with me at this conference this weekend, but him and his wife, they got a great company. They're growing strong. But that's the kind of things that you do. That's the kind of guy that ends up being in business as long as he wants to be, or he's able to sell it when he wants to sell it because of that. So know your numbers, ask for help, and in all areas of construction, business, this and that, and here's one that I learned was like when the homeowner asks you something, if you don't know, tell them.
Oh, I have no problem with that. Yeah,
tell them you don't know.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know everything. And you got to be honest with them and say, hey, but let's figure it out. Let me make the right phone calls. Let me talk to the right people. Let me interview you. But we can figure it out. And and you've been in it long enough, like myself, is when someone tells you something, you kind of know if it's right or not.
Exactly.
It's hard to bullshit us at this point.
Yeah. I get tired of that. Being up late like 3 days in a row, and so on one of the days he called me, like he was like an hour away from the job site, but he called me 15 minutes before he had to be there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, my wife tested positive for COVID this morning." I was like, "Yeah, 15 minutes ago, whatever." And then like 3 days later, he doesn't show up at all. He doesn't call at all. And then at 7:00 at night, he goes, "Oh, I got pulled over on the way to work for a headlight, and I already had a thing. So they hauled me away for jail for the whole day. I just got out." And I was like, "Great. Send me a piece of the paperwork." And he's like, "Okay, I'll send you the information about the court date." I was like, "No, pretty sure when they take you in, they give you some paperwork. So send me that paperwork." And he couldn't. So I was like, "Do you really think I don't know what it looks like when you stay up all night gaming and you can't get your job?"
Oh my God.
How long have you been doing this? Give me a break.
Yeah, or the tire was flat, and I went to change it, and the spare was gone, and all. I mean, I'm
then the engine caught on fire, and then
and last week, Tiffany, the same last Wednesday when Tiffany was before she that day, 3 guys. It was 3 brothers, but they all quit the same day because the one the one older brother had an attitude and made the 2 other guys go. We've been there.
For sure.
But we've still standing. We've had to, you just deal with it. You get up, like you said, is you learn, you lose money on one job a year. You say, and you know why you did it. And most of the time, for me, it was my fault. I can't look back at any bad situation and point any fingers except for at myself, because I either should have known or I did know, and I thought I could somehow maneuver it or something. But I always look back going, you deserve it. You deserve it. Like how many times are you going to have to do this so you don't do it again? It's like, man, and when you're writing it down and when you're tracking it and but what else would we do? We can't work for nobody.
I couldn't work for anybody else.
we can't work for nobody. We got to keep doing it. No, that's and it's treat your employees better than you think you should. Yeah.
Oh, they're everything for me.
It is for all of them.
Yeah.
It's when when I see these guys online talking about it, I'm like, dude, you just don't know. You just
Yeah.
And as long as you have that mindset, you're never going to get it. You're never going to get it when you have that mindset. So, man, anyway, it's been great. I'm going to take you up on that, and I'm gonna ship my daughter off to you whenever I can for at least, I don't know. I'm honestly going to bug you about that.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know, just from seeing you on Facebook, we've never met face to face, but we correspond, and I kind of know the kind of person you are. I trust her with you, that kind of deal, all of that. But in construction, most of the time, I'm telling you, 98% of the guys people in construction are good people.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Yeah. We know what it's like to earn a living and stuff. But anyway, guys, man, it's been a pleasure again. Brian Adams here, the contractor's contractor. I don't even think I started off like that. This has been another episode of Dominate Your Trade, Kick Your Competition's Ass. Man, I'm interviewing these contractors who have been through it. Man, you guys can listen to these over and over again and learn from us so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that we've made. You're still going to make them. You're still going to make them, but you're going to laugh about them going, damn it, Mel and Brian told me this was going to happen. Alex said it was going to happen. Tiffany told me. Anthony said. But again, it's you took an hour out of your day longer. I really appreciate that. And, man, I just look forward to watching you grow. And like I said, I'm going to send my daughter up there with you. I really appreciate it. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
No, thanks for having me. It's been a fun chat.
Man, I appreciate it. And we didn't even get into the whole Massachusetts and Boston and I mean, we're gonna do it again. And I really do want to get all of us together and just tell the horror stories, because now they're funny, and they were not funny at the time.
No, they were not at the time.
Man, I appreciate it, man. God bless everybody watching. Thanks, guys.